Christian Yelich was one of the best players in baseball back in 2018 and 2019, winning an MVP in 2018 and leading all of Major League Baseball in batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and OPS in 2019 en route to a runner-up finish. However, since then it has not been a smooth sailing for him. Back in 2020, he hit just .205 with 12 home runs in 58 games for a much reduced OPS of .786, and last season he reached rock bottom. His OPS fell another 50 points, and he hit just 9 home runs in 117 games. With him signing one of the biggest contracts in baseball through 2028, a 9-year, $215 million deal, there was definitely reason for concern among Brewers fans. Would Christian Yelich ever return to his MVP level that he showed back in 2018 and 2019, or even just the solid player form that he was in Miami? Well, this season on the surface, his numbers may not be that impressive to you. His OPS thus far this season is at a relatively pedestrian 791, up 55 points from last year, a definite improvement. His slugging has improved significantly, the best since 2019, but still isn't at the MVP level that maybe some people were hoping for on the surface. However, looking a little bit deeper at his numbers shows that Christian Yelich is back, and I'm going to explain why. But before you watch, guys, make sure to subscribe, hit the subscribe button down below, make sure to like this video, make sure to follow me on my other socials. I'll be putting them in the description below. Really would mean a lot to me. Let's get into it. First of all, I'm going to start back in 2019 with Christian Yelich, his last elite season, his MVP runner-up finish where he was amazing. His OPS was 1100. He led the world in all hitting categories. And here's the stat page again. Average exit velocity up in the 98th percentile. Barrel percentage up at the 97th percentile, walking up at the 93rd percentile, and overall is xwOBA, a measure of how good an overall hitter has been using balls that are hit, and as well plate discipline, not striking out too much, walking a ton, was in the 99th percentile. He was in the top 1% of players back in 2019 in offensive performance. He was amazing. He deserved his numbers because he hit the ball very hard, he walked a ton, and he didn't strike out that much. His walk percentage in 2019 was 13.8%, one of the best marks in baseball. His striker percentage down at 20.2%, below major league average. He was excellent with his plate discipline, and he was hitting the ball extremely hard. He had 59 barrels. A barrel is the optimal point of hitting a ball based off of exit velocity and launch angle. 59 of them, a 50.8% rate, an incredible rate, one of the best in Major League Baseball. He was hitting the ball hard, he was hitting it in the air, he was hitting line drives, he wasn't striking out that much, and he was walking a ton. He did everything you could have ever wanted from an elite hitter back that season. But again, just wasn't able to really recapture that form in the 2 years following. In 2020, he was still hitting the ball extremely hard. His xwOBA, which is a measure that shows how well you're hitting the ball, specifically the batted ball numbers, was right in line with 2018 and 2019. He was at 494, 2019 he was 514, 2018 498. He was still hitting the ball extremely hard. His walk rate had actually increased way up to 18.6%, the highest of his career, but his striker rate, the big issue here, all the way up at 30.8%, an absurdly high rate for someone who just didn't strike out much ever in his career up until that season. One of the biggest culprits for that was his whiff rate going absolutely through the roof. It already increased the previous season from 2018 when it was down at 22.8%, up to 28% 2019, and now all the way up to nearly 34%, massively over the major league average of 24.6. Another massive issue is that he just wasn't swinging enough. His swing percentage, by far the lowest of his career, and it isn't even close. Every other year of his career, his swing percentage has been at least 40%. In 2020, it was just 34.6%, an absurdly low number, nearly 13% below major league average. His zone swing percentage, also the only season of his career where it has been under 60%, all the way down to 57.7%. while still getting one of the fewest pitches in the zone of anyone in Major League Baseball, down 6% from the Major League average, just 42.4%. Essentially, what all this means, he wasn't getting pitched in the strike zone very often. When he was, he just wasn't swinging. Combine that with his subpar whiff rate, and you have a massive strikeout rate, but also a massive walk rate because he wasn't getting pitches in the zone, and he was still able to hit the ball hard when he was swinging the bat. So going to 2021, I think a lot of people just thought, just an approach issue, just wasn't swinging enough. He was still hitting the ball super hard. He was still walking a ton. It was a weird weird shortened season, and then 2021 came around and it didn't really work like that. Everything declined significantly in 2021. His average exit velocity down 3 miles an hour. His launch angle down to just above 0 at only just below 3 degrees. And that wasn't good. He was hitting balls on the ground. His ground ball percentage went through the roof. It was at 55.7%, over 10% above major league average, and comparable to his Marlins days when he wasn't hitting for power. His barrel percentage completely collapsed. He only barreled 22 balls in 2021. For comparison, again, he barreled 59 in 2019, 57 in 2018. Barrel percentage all the way down to just 7.6, barely above major league average. His walk rate fell, so did his strikeout rate, but his strikeout rate still higher than any other year in his career other than 2020. So strikeout rate was still higher than you would like to see. His walk rate had lowered. Play discipline still pretty good, but then combine that with the fact he just wasn't hitting the ball hard, and resulted in the worst season of his career. His OPS fell all the way down to 735. He slugged just 373, and again hit just 9 home runs all season long, far removed from his 44 homer performance in 2019. Once again, plate discipline wasn't too much of an issue. Again, the walk rate did lower, but his chase rate was still only 18%, barely higher than 2020, and his whiff rate actually decreased way down near his career average at just 24.9%. Not too high of a rate by any means, but again, just wasn't hitting the ball very hard. His run value on pitches over the heart of the plate, essentially meaning how well he was hitting pitches down the middle, was all the way down at -17, his worst mark since back in 2017 when he was a Marlin still. Meaning he just wasn't punishing mistakes down the middle. He was getting pitches down the plate. His meatball percentage, a measure of how many pitches down the plate a hitter gets, was up a full percentage and a bit from 2020. His meatball swing percentage went way up. He was back to swinging at those pitches, which was his problem in 2020, and he just wasn't hitting them hard. I think the main theory for why this happened is because he was battling a back injury that did sideline him for some time last season, and I just don't think he was healthy all year. His ex-Wobicon, I mean, it isn't even close. His ex-Wobicon all the way down at 385, by far the worst mark of his career. The previous low was 410 back in 2017, which is still pretty good, but I mean, barely above major league average now. The plate discipline was still good. There was some bad luck involved, but overall just wasn't the same Christian Yelich we were used to. So going to the season, didn't really know what to expect from Yelich, and so far, so good. His barrel percentage is now the highest of his career, and it's not even close so far. When this video was made, his barrel percentage was all the way up at 19.2%, an insane rate, way higher than any other year of his career. He'd already barreled 14 balls, just 8 less than he did all of last season. His expected slugging percentage all the way up at 607, better than his 2018 mark and not far below his 2019 mark of 630. His ex-Wobicon has returned all the way up to 505, the second highest mark of his career, again just behind 2019, above 2018, and that's with his walk rate going down. All of this indicates that he's actually getting extremely unlucky this season. His ex-Woba is 69 points above his Woba, meaning he is just getting super unfortunate luck on balls in play, meaning that his stats are going to come around at a certain point this season. He's not going to maintain an OPS below 800 forever. One of the biggest changes to Christian Yelich this season, he has stopped hitting ground balls to the same degree that he was last season. His ground ball rate down 5%, and his fly ball rate has skyrocketed all the way up to 24.7%, the second highest rate of his career again to 2019. He is focusing now on hitting balls up in the air at a higher rate than we have seen from him in the previous 2 seasons. As well, different from the problem in 2020, he has swung at way more pitches. His meatball percentage up at 7.1%, the highest since 2017. He has taken advantage, swinging at 75.8% of them, right around major league average, much higher than the 2020 mark of 66.1% swing rate on those pitches. His overall swing rate up at 40.5%. He's swinging more consistently than he was in 2020. His own swing percentage also up back above 60% from 2020. So he's essentially now, he has combined his 2021 ability to swing at pitches down the plate with his 2020 ability to capitalize on them, and it has resulted in stats similar to 2018 and 2019 when he was at the MVP level. To summarize it all up, Christian Yelich is now hitting the ball harder. He's swinging more at mistakes. His plate discipline is still excellent. He's hitting the ball in the air more often. He is doing everything that you want from Christian Yelich to succeed. So far, he has eliminated his issue with ground balls. He has hit much more fly balls, which is what you want from him because he hits the ball so hard. He seems fully healthy this season. He isn't passive. He isn't frozen on pitches down the plate. Christian Yelich has returned to being himself, and I expect his numbers to increase as the year goes on. And I think that's terrific for baseball because Christian Yelich at his best was one of the best players in the sport, one of the best players of his generation, and it was a little bit sad to see him struggle like he did the past 2 seasons. So hopefully this year is for real. He continues the production of hitting the balls hard because they will eventually start to get down for him, and he's primed for a big season. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, follow my socials in the description below, and yeah guys, have a wonderful rest of your day.